This is Dr. Carroll, and this video is a narration of project4Examples. Let's jump into it. So I'm going to walk through 3 examples for you to talk about what is required and to give you an example of output. Again, with other projects, the user input is in bold blue face, and the parts that are required by the AutoGrader are in underlined text. So it's good practice to welcome the user, let them know what options there are. Your project needs to support insertion, deletion, removal, verbose mode, displaying all stocks stored in the hash table, display the load factor alpha, display the size, meaning the number of stock tickers symbols that are currently stored, and O for these options, and then Q to quit. As with other projects, keep prompting the user for what command they want to execute until they enter a queue. Let's get into this. So first, have you need to have the term enter, as in please enter a command, and then here we're demonstrating a display of S&P 500 SPX. So have the term displaying, and then since this is we haven't inserted anything, we can't find it in the hash table, so have the term unable to find and then repeat the stock ticker symbol, the key. Let's go on to the next example. Remove and then a stock ticker symbol, and have the keyword or the term removing, and then again, since it's not in the hash table, have the term failed to remove and then repeat the key here, in this case SPX. Let's go on to an insertion example. Insert S&P 500 at yesterday's price, and so have the term inserting and then repeat the key here, the stock ticker symbol, and then ... Don't put the price here. Now if we display, we want to display all verbose mode, have a header for your hash table, and then in a parenthetical phrase have the number of elements, key value pairs stored, and then have the term key dash value space pair. Then for each of the key value pairs have key colon, and then a space, and then the key, and then I have a tab here, any white space, you can have a space, then value colon space, and then the price. And here's an example of displaying the load factor alpha. Have the term load factor, and then you could display alpha or the English word alpha, and then here, because there's one element and we need to start the hash table with just a total of 3, very small, but that will force rehashing. So there's 1 out of 3, so load factor alpha is 1/3 here, rounded, and so display it rounded to 2 decimal places. Here, now we can display this stock ticker symbol, so we have displaying, and then have the term found, and then return the value and the price here. If now we can remove it, again we need the term removing, and then have the term successful, as in successfully removed, and then repeat the stock ticker symbol. By the way, this will also remove the value, but don't display that here. Let's insert it again, and then let's display it with its updated price. And then, oh, I'm sorry, this was actually the price as of January 1, 2000. This was January 1, 2010. And then this was January 1, 2020. Now notice we already had S&P 500 in there, we displayed it, and now we want to insert it again. We can't have 2 copies in a hash table, so what we do is we update the value to be the current value, and we display, hey, it did have a value of this, now I'm updating, and that's the required term here, to this new value. Now when we display it, we say found, and then we have the new value. Here's an example of the size currently tracking, and so have the term tracking space and then the number of stocks. Load factor alpha is still 1/3 because we inserted it and then we updated it, so it's only 1 out of 3. We can remove it. If we try to remove it again, it'll fail. If we do size, it should display tracking 0 and then quit and then have by. So that's a simple example exercising all of the options and then their output. This next example I'm calling the first rehash example. So here let's insert a couple of stocks from the S&P 500 group, the Yum restaurants here. Insert them, insert another one. Load factor alpha is 2/3, rounded to 2 decimal places. Now we're going to insert another one, but remember we start out the hash table with size 3, so when we go to insert this, we need to rehash our hash table and then display how many slots are in the new hash table size. And as we talked about in class, it should be double and then go to the next larger prime number. So we were at 3, 3 doubled is 6, 6 is not a prime number, so we went to 7, 7 is a prime number, there we go. Now we display the load factor alpha. Notice it went down because now we're 3/7, and so 0.43. We can insert another one. We can display all 4 key value pairs. And let me just say here, these are required, but I've gone through the extra effort to allow them to be in any order, because depending on how you write your hash function, it could put them in a different order. So the autograder will require that you have all of these terms, but the ordering for these 4 are not mandatory. We have now 4 out of 7, so we can display the load factor alpha. What else is new here? And then we can display a load factor alpha of 0. Okay, I had fun with this last example. There's an S&P 500 index. I inserted like 60 of them is what this test case will do. Insert, ask for the load factor alpha. Oh, we're needing to rehash to 7. Insert some more, we're rehashing, and now we have 17 slots. And then we're rehashing, we're up to 37 slots. And then we're up to 79. And then we up to 163. And we insert some more and display the load factor alpha, display all of them. I've got a tab here, so it's jumping sometimes. Again, this order isn't required, and so I'll take any order. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.